Hey everybody, this is the Game Block for the very first episode of Dead Air. I'm sitting here with a couple guests. One, Ulysses.
Hey, how you guys doing?
We're sitting here with Chris
Sup? At
and
Heel Seacoff on Twitter.
also Stephen Wilds.
What up?
All right, so like I said, it's a Dead Air podcast, a gaming podcast. We talk about gaming, movies, more than likely just a bunch of random stuff that has nothing to do with gaming and movies. But we'll talk about everything. The first topic we're going to be talking about is the game of the year. In 2013, we had GTA 5, Arkham Origins, Batman Arkham Origins, Tomb Raider, BioShock Infinite, Super Mario World 3D for all 0 people here who have a Wii U, Last of Us, Beyond Two Souls, and a lot of others. So we'll start with you, Stephen Wilds. In your opinion, what is the video game of the year?
After some consideration on this, I think I am actually gonna have to go with BioShock Infinite.
Wow. Why
Yeah,
is that?
okay. Here's the thing. I played most of the ones you listed, and I liked all of them. But the end result was I realized that as much as I like Grand Theft Auto, and it probably would have been my second runner up. But one of the reasons I really like Grand Theft Auto is just because when I spend $60 on a Grand Theft Auto game, I feel like I'm getting like my money's worth. It's replay value. But as far as just the story and the presentation and the moments I sat there and went, oh man, this looks incredible. And I got into the story and got into the game and just, almost couldn't put it down. I think BioShock Infinite really kind of took that. And I really do want to play Mario 3D World. Don't get me wrong. I haven't had the opportunity yet.
That game looks really fun. I won't lie.
It does look good.
and I got to give a shout out to Tomb Raider because I know at one point we were kind of talking about reboots and stuff, and honestly I'm impressed. I'm impressed with what they did. Square Enix to me as a company makes some really stupid decisions sometimes, but I got to give them this one. That was a good game. I don't think it was game of the year, but it was a good game. I don't know why it's coming out on the new systems. I've yet to see what they're actually adding to Tomb Raider to make it worth getting on a new system, but whatever.
Fingers crossed for bigger breasts. I'm gonna just go out there and say that.
Bigger Laura Croft titties. Tomb Raider was a very good game, though. It was because I'm a big fan of Uncharted. I didn't actually like the old Tomb Raider games, but the Tomb Raider reboot was pretty good.
You know, I got that PlayStation Plus, and they offered Tomb Raider Underworld for free, and I tried that out. I cannot get past the first level. I have no idea what to do in that game.
It's a tough game. That is a tough game.
I have no idea what to do. I keep getting stuck in a burning building.
All right, Ulysses. In your opinion, what is the video game of the year?
In my opinion, there's only because I have a PS3 and I don't know how many Xbox exclusive games are there out there that are considered game of the year.
Not that many.
But the 2 games that really stand out to me is Grand Theft Auto 5 and The Last of Us. Right. But if I have to make a decision, it's going to be The Last of Us. Last of Us for me is game of the year.
I want to play that still.
I love, it's funny because when I heard that game, I'm like, I'm not going to play that game. I'm so tired of zombies. It's like, I don't want to play one more zombie game. But when my friend actually let me borrow it, man, I'm happy I was wrong about that game. Because, the one thing I felt that game really needed to make sure that game was really good is they needed to keep, the innocence of Ellie, the girl in the game. And I felt they did that perfectly.
Mm-hmm.
So, okay, Chris, what is the game of the year in your opinion?
Well, seeing that I haven't actually played most of those games, I'm actually going to play Last of Us, and actually probably I'm going to play that later once I get it. And also, one you forgot to mention was Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag. I have that. I've played a little bit of it, but I'm going to play through the whole thing in the upcoming weeks. And if I want that to be my game of the year, but out of the games I've played, I got to give it to Grand Theft Auto 5, because I just love that game. Either that or one that really doesn't really get considered much for game of the year because it's just the same over and over and over again. is the NBA 2K14. I just loved it. It's the game I play whenever I want to play just anything. NBA 2K14, it's just a good update since 13, but then again, it's just another NBA game, which doesn't get considered a lot for Game of the Year. But like you said, the Tomb Raider game, is that sort of like the Uncharted, like how it plays, is what you said?
Pretty much. Even though people say Tomb Raider was like the original Uncharted,
Yeah.
but
Kind of was, yeah.
yeah, but yeah, it plays like Uncharted pretty much.
Yeah, see, I don't really like how Uncharted was. Like, I played the first one, didn't really like it, but for some reason, I don't like that way of playing, but for some reason, the Assassin's Creed series always just has stuck out to me as my favorite of that, like, playing genre where it's like third person and not very many guns and like just climbing a platformer, sort of, not really a platformer, but it's just, I mean, like, I got to give it to GTA 5 just based on like hours played and how much time I've actually had fun playing it.
Tomb
You
Raider
know,
had a much better combat system than Uncharted. I just want to point that out.
Oh, it did?
Yeah,
you know,
they improved on the combat.
I would have given Game of the Year to Grand Theft Auto 5 if the online would have been more entertaining.
If it had
After
worked.
after a week of playing online, that really, unless it's like going online with Infamous and like running over random
Right.
people, there really isn't much to do online anymore.
No,
Yeah.
there's not. I canceled my Xbox Live actually because I kept it on. I kept paying for it, just waiting for Grand Theft Auto 5 and for the online. And
Waiting for the
honestly,
day.
I know. And honestly, after the debacle with it not coming up, and then with the stimulus package and everything, I was like, no, I'm gonna let my time run out, and when another game comes out that I just have to play online, I'll put it back on.
Yeah. And I think GTA 5 would be a lot more people's game of the year if online had the square circle or the XB option where you just jump and then dive and do front flips and stuff. You guys know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, I just wanted to. This is off subject, but I know you say you didn't like Uncharted. I would recommend you play Part 2 because Part 1 was not really. Out of the
Part-
three, it was the worst.
Part
It
2
was?
was great. Part 2 was really, really good.
2 and 3 are worth playing. 1 was,
And I actually liked 1 when I first played it. But then, and people were saying, Part 2 is way better. And I was like, well, I like the first one. How is it better? And then I played Part 2. And then it made me realize how shit Part 1 is. So you play Part 2, you will realize that. But we're talking about Game of the Year. And this was a tough one for me. I didn't play Beyond yet. Did not play Super Mario 3D World or Arkham Origins. So it's pretty much between GTA, Tomb Raider, and Last of Us. And I was going to say GTA, but because the GTA Online got boring real fast,
Yeah.
I decided to give it to Last of Us.
Yes.
Tomb Raider I really like Tomb Raider, but it just doesn't seem as, I don't know, like as entertaining or big as Last of Us. I don't know if that makes sense at all. But out of the three, the one I would play the entire story over again is probably Last of Us more than Tomb Raider and GTA 5.
Yeah, same here.
I think we should point out though that between the four of us, if you really want a Game of the Year contender, we all played and finished Grand Theft Auto 5. That should say something.
Yeah.
It's true, but
But like Scoops, have you finished Last of Us or have you played it?
I haven't played it yet.
Yeah.
I have a PS3. I intend on getting it. It's just there's so many games that came out. Like I just beat Arkham Origins, and now I'm playing Dishonored. And so when I'm done with Dishonored, I think The Last of Us is what I'm going to pick up next.
Yeah, because I'm going to get it later on, like in a couple weeks, but I haven't played it yet. I'm looking forward to play that.
like
Yeah. Go
my
ahead.
point on GTA is that the ending. I don't know. The story, the way the story ended, kind of like fell on like a whatever level.
I'll agree.
Like I didn't feel much emotion at the end of the game. It didn't want to make me continue those little side missions that you could do afterwards.
I think they were trying for a feel-good ending, depending on which option you chose, obviously.
Yeah.
And I just really think they kind of the rest of the game was at such a high point and kept escalating and outdoing itself that once it got to the end, it was almost like, well, crap, what are we gonna do? You know?
Yeah. Okay, I'll
Um,
give you that.
but you mentioned the ending of GTA 5. Was there anybody else who did pick something other than the third option to keep both the people alive?
I
I
did
actually,
later. I went back and did them.
Oh,
yeah, same here.
which what'd you originally choose?
The third one. I think we all originally chose the third one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I wanted to say both of them
I've
easily.
never played it again. I played it
I
once.
played. Yeah, same here. I
Well,
played it once.
well, like for me, when they gave me the opportunity to either kill one, kill the other, or save both, I knew like, all right, you know what? I'm gonna stop this. I'm gonna make copies of this file so I could
Exactly.
play exactly, so I could play through the three. The other two are such bummers though.
Yeah.
They're like really bummers.
I was glad I chose the third one for my first ending because I think it left me with a much better taste for the game
Yeah.
in my mouth. Speaking of that, though, I got to ask Infamous because you said you haven't played Beyond Two Worlds or Beyond Two Souls.
I haven't. No.
I
Okay,
heard a lot
I
of bad
was a
things.
huge fan of Heavy Rain.
Me too.
Even before all the joke videos and everybody's making fun of Heavy Rain, before I knew anything about it,
Eat
a friend was
donut.
like, "Yeah, I know exactly." A friend was like, "You got to play this game because of the control system," and
man.
that's why he originally told me to play the game. But I loved Heavy Rain. I played that game. I got almost every ending that you can get. I played through it like 4 times. And so when I heard about the new game, Beyond Two Souls, I was stoked. And I didn't have a lot of money when it came out, and I was gonna scrape the money together to go get it. And I was like, no, these guys have earned my money, right? And then I hear all these horrible comments about the gameplay and the story and everything, and I taught myself, I let them kind of talk me out of it. So I'm going to play that game eventually, but there's almost a part of me now that wants to remember Heavy Rain as being this amazing masterpiece, and I'm afraid if I play this game that something will affect that.
Well, I can't say I've heard many people's opinions on Beyond. I've heard like one person's and they said it was good. They said it was better than Heavy Rain. That's what that person
Really?
said.
I
But
heard the exact opposite.
Yeah, I heard the exact
yeah,
opposite.
this one person said Beyond was better than Heavy Rain. Now, I haven't heard anybody else say that, but that's what he said. I'm playing Beyond like for Christmas. I think somebody got it for me for Christmas. I'm going to play it, but I really enjoyed Heavy Rain too. It is probably my favorite. That and Uncharted 2 is probably my favorite games on PS3. I was hoping Beyond would be just as good. I've heard that it's good, and I've heard that it's better than Heavy Rain, but part of me thinks that's not true. But I don't know. We'll find out, obviously.
And also, one game you forgot to mention was The Wolf Among Us, the new Telltale game that came out. Have
Hey,
you been
that
liking that so far?
I wanted to. I thought about that, but because only episode 1 is out, I didn't put it in there.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed those playthroughs, by the way. Though that game looks really entertaining.
I
This
did
is
not
very
watch
yeah.
your Let's Plays of that because I plan on
Playing
waiting
it
until the
yourself.
whole thing is out, and I'll buy it all when it's all out because I'm a huge fan of that comic book that's based off of Fables. I love Fables.
I've never read the comic book, but playing the
Same here.
game got me so interested that I was thinking about buying some of the comic books to read them.
It's
after that.
it's slow, but it's a good slow. Like it gets you into the world and the story, and by the end of the first graphic novel, you will care about those characters.
Yeah. And
Seeing his playthroughs made me care a lot for Snow, and I felt really bad how your playthrough ended.
And what's weird is The Wolf Among Us is a prequel, so like I definitely want to eventually play it and get the story, but that's why I haven't like watched anybody's playthroughs of that game or anything really about it yet, because I know eventually when it's all out, I'm gonna buy it like I did Walking Dead, because I waited until all those were out, bought it, and I'm gonna play through them.
Yeah. Well, Chris was talking about games that I didn't mention for Game of the Year. Also, just to go through a lot of games that came out this year before we move on. Devil May Cry came out, the reboot that came out this year.
I
Nobody
haven't
said
played
that
that
game.
yet. Yeah, I haven't played that yet, but I was a huge fan of the original, so I'll eventually give it a shot, but I'm not expecting much.
I believe Dead Space 3 came out this year. Sly Cooper, Thieves in Time. What else? Crisis 3. I think.
2 bored the crap out of me. I don't know if y'all played it.
I
Did
never
anybody play
played
it?
it.
I played the
It's
demo of the Crisis 3, and I just was like, no, this is hard, but I don't want to play it.
Dude, it's the most visually beautiful game you'll probably ever play, and the story they couldn't do a thing to keep me interested in that story. And finally, like this one character comes up, I'm like, oh well, maybe this person. Nope, dead. All right, never mind. Moving on.
Wow.
Did Resident Evil 6 come out 2013? Is that true?
No, that came out late
I
2012.
thought it was
think.
late. Yeah, that was like around Christmas 2012. I thought.
Okay,
And if
that was
anyone
bullshit.
makes, and I don't believe anyone would ever consider that game of the year
well,
caliber.
this list is deceiving me, so we're gonna move on.
I'm halfway through the Resident Evil Revelations, which is the one that came out for the handheld.
Yeah.
And so far, everybody's right. Like story wise, and like as far as keeping my interest, that game is way better. And it was for a handheld.
Well,
Oh, wow.
you're playing on 3DS.
No. They ported it to like Steam and Xbox, so I'm playing it on Steam.
Because I was interested in it because I heard of how good it was and how it's better than 6, but people were saying it's only good on 3DS. They were saying it's horrible on the consoles.
It's okay. What it is there's a system, like a more interactive system with the what's called the Genesis. And if you've got a 3DS, I would get it on 3DS. If you're like me and you don't have a 3DS, then get it on something else.
Yeah,
Oh, and play Arkham Origins. That was totally worth it.
Yeah.
I want to.
I love that game.
I've heard bad things though.
Well, it's out of the three, because it's the third one in the Arkham series.
Yeah.
It has the most problems, but the problems aren't with the story. The story's great.
Yes.
The problems are really with just little decisions and mechanical stuff they decide to do. And honestly, it didn't hamper the game enough for me to
That
just not
detective
like the
mode is
game.
Bullshit.
The detective thing that they added, is a neat idea. It just didn't work.
Yeah, it's like all they wanted to do was try to stretch the game out another 15 minutes, and that was successful in it. But it wasn't all too entertaining. I'll be honest.
The idea of being able to rewatch, like, because Batman's the greatest detective ever, or whatnot, of being able to rewatch the murders and stuff is a neat idea. But it was just so tacked on. It was like, oh, well, we want to do this, but we don't want to take any extra time to make this look really good. So here.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I do like the voice of the Joker. I thought he did a good job to try to impersonate Mark Hamill as well as he could.
Yeah, Troy Baker, he was great. So the guy who played Batman, if you hadn't told me that wasn't Kevin Conroy, it probably would have taken me a while to figure that out.
Yeah, same here.
I'm a big sucker for Mark Hamill as Joker though. Like
yeah.
I just love him as the Joker. I think he does the best Joker voice.
No,
period.
No argument for me.
Oh, and Chris pointed out earlier, Black Flag. I haven't really enjoyed an Assassin's Creed game. I've played all of them. Haven't enjoyed one since 2.
Ooh.
2 is my favorite. But
You're
I hear
offending
4
me.
is the best one since 2. Like, they're saying 4 is as good as 2.
Oh
The
man,
last
you're
Assassin's-
offending me saying you don't like the Assassin's Creed series. Those
I
are my
love
favorites.
2. 2 was great.
You're
And
gonna
then
be-
They did the other Ezio's, and I'm sorry, 3 was just annoying.
Oh, 3 was awful. No,
3
nobody.
was annoying.
You're gonna be offended, but I don't like any of the Assassin's Creeds either. But I haven't played all of them. I played the very first Assassin's Creed, and
Oh,
I
that's
played
why. That's
Revelations.
why right there.
Look,
What?
First
So you
Assassin's
skipped
Creed
the best one?
is
The first
awful.
one gets a lot of shit, but I believe it doesn't deserve it. My favorite
It's
is
too
actually the
repetitive.
first one. I don't know. I
Really?
actually, because I prefer Altair more than Ezio. I'm
I mean,
probably
he's
the
cool
only
character.
one in the world that believes that, but I actually do enjoy Altair
Yeah,
more than Ezio.
you're about 1 in a million.
Yeah.
Altair
but-
is a great character, but that first Assassin's Creed game, they were still perfecting their mechanics and their style. And the first one is just too repetitive. The second one, they made it, in my opinion, more fun. Although Ezio might not be as cool of a character as Altair, he had a lot more depth to him. Like as far as his family issues and stuff he was going through, and how he really didn't want the whole mantle to lead the clan or to lead the creed and all that. And I don't know, I really like 2 a lot. If you want to like an Assassin's Creed game, try either 2 or 4.
Yeah, my favorites would actually be one of either Brotherhood or Revelations. Just overall, I loved Brotherhood the most, but the ending to Revelations was one of the best endings I've ever thought to wrap up a series of games. Is just
I'll agree with that. But Brotherhood to me felt like it should have been DLC. If that had been DLC for 2, it would have been perfect.
But we could actually transition into what's your like favorite game of all time instead of like just for this year. We could do that.
That is true. Well, we'll get into it. Let's try to get these out first, and then we'll go into best video game of all time. But first, Wonder Woman, as we know, and I'm going to say her name wrong probably, even though we already discussed this.
Yeah.
She was former Miss Israel and Fast and Furious actress. Damn it. Shit. Godot. All right, I'll just say her last name. Godot, the lady.
It sounds like a cereal, Gal Gadot.
Yeah, her. She's playing Wonder Woman in the upcoming Batman vs Superman movie. And a lot of people had a lot to say about it. Most of it was negative. So we started with Steven.
Has anyone had anything positive to say about this movie so far?
Not really. No, not really at all. We'll start with you. See, I'm messing up everything. Ulysses, we'll start with you. What do you think about the casting of Wonder Woman in Batman vs. Superman?
Me, I really, really, really don't like it. Like, I'm not going to be one of those people who think, oh, she's too skinny, because the movie comes out in, I think, 2015. She could gain the weight. I got no problem with that.
Yeah, they bulked everybody else up for Man of Steel.
Yeah. My problem is Wonder Woman is such a respected character. Like, females, should you think of her as a feminist role model or whatever, and guys even like reading her comic book. But I think you need to get an actress who could dominate the role, who could like give respect to this character. And this actress, Gal Gadot, whatever her name is, I apologize if I get her name wrong, but she doesn't like captivate me when she's on screen. Like, we were talking about this earlier. She is very forgettable on those Fast and the Furious movies. And I don't want her to be forgettable as Wonder Woman.
Yeah.
Okay, well, we'll start with Chris. What do you think about the Wonder Woman casting?
See, I really actually hadn't heard much about this movie up until recently, like maybe a week ago. But I really am indifferent about it. I haven't seen a Wonder Woman movie, if there are any, but
the
animated one was actually all right. It was pretty good.
Yeah, but like right now, I'm looking at it. It could be good. It could be bad. I really don't have that much of an opinion on it.
Okay, well, Steven, what do you think about the casting?
All right. Well, I think people are focusing too much on the wrong things with this movie. Because first everybody was upset that Ben Affleck had been cast. All right. I don't think Ben Affleck's a horrible actor. He's done some bad stuff. He's done some good stuff. If you've never seen Argo or The Town, you should go watch them. But
that sounds good.
Yeah, but seriously, I would have never picked him as Batman, but that's not what I'm upset about. I don't care that Gal Gadot was picked to play Wonder Woman, even if I didn't know who she was before, and if she doesn't look the part. That's not what I'm upset about. What really bothers me about this movie is that, one, Superman should have been allowed to have his own second movie and not have all these other characters forced on his movie.
Yeah, I agree.
And from everything I'm reading, it sounds like there's a lot of people higher ups in Warner Brothers who are like, well, this is popular right now. Throw this in there. Yeah, this is popular right now. Let's throw Barry Allen as a cameo in there, and let's throw. Oh my God, they're going to have Lex Luthor, which is going to be cool. I'm still got my fingers crossed. Maybe they can convince Bryan Cranston to do it. But the point is that I think this movie has too much in it. It's going to have the same problem that Spider-Man 3 had, I think, where they're going to cram so much stuff into this movie.
Yeah, it's like, I already see the title. It's Man of Steel 2, now with 90% less Superman. It makes no sense to me.
Yeah, and here's one other thing. Like, okay, a lot of movies recently, like The Hunger Games, Thor had a lot. There were a couple other movies. I was reading an article recently about how a lot of movies over the past few months have had very strong female leads, and some of these Hollywood types are finally realizing that they can actually do movies with strong female leads and them still make money. Because there was a while there that a lot of movies like that were failing at the box office.
Catwoman.
If that's any indication, not to just throw Wonder Woman into a movie and at least let her try to do her own movie. Let Well, Joss Whedon was supposed to write the Wonder Woman movie, and he apparently had some problems working with Warner Brothers, and Warner Brothers didn't like some of the stuff he was demanding for the movie. I really wish that had worked because he's good at writing female characters.
Yeah.
And I really don't think this movie project is going to work out. I don't see it. I'm going to go see it. I'm not going to lie. It'll get my money, but
Yeah.
I don't think it's going to work.
Well, one of the things, first of all, with Ben Affleck as Batman, I didn't think he fit Batman. But I was just like, okay, because at the same time, when Hugh Jackman was first cast as I don't want to say Wonder Woman.
That would be a good Wonder Woman right there.
That'd be a plot twist.
Hugh Jackman should be Wonder Woman. I'm calling it right now.
He has the body to be Wonder Woman.
When Jackman was cast as Wolverine, I didn't like him as Wolverine until I saw the movie, and then now I can't picture anybody else playing Wolverine.
Yep, and he's about to retire, sadly.
Yeah, so Ben Affleck is like, okay, I don't really like him as Batman, but we'll wait and see. With Wonder Woman, it's just, yeah, we'll wait and see, but I had like other visions of Wonder Woman more so than I did with a new Batman, and I don't think she really fits, but like I said, she can gain maybe some muscle and weight, and we'll see what happens. But my main issue with it is that putting Wonder Woman in the movie, I want to get your guys' opinion on it too, because it seems like the movie is going to be very, very cluttered. Because you're introducing a new Batman. You have to, obviously, it's supposed to be a Superman movie with Batman being introduced. And then you have to introduce Wonder Woman. And then there are rumors that they were going to introduce other people, like maybe a Green Lantern or a Flash or somebody like that. And it just seems like it's going to be a whole bunch of people who they should just like wait. Like, okay, have something at the end maybe in Man of Steel 2 that shows that Batman is around or something. Like they do with Avengers, like they do with Marvel. Like at the end, Nick Fury comes, says, I want you in the Avengers Initiative. Have something involving Batman. It just seems like they're rushing it. And I want to get you guys' opinion on it. Do you think that they're rushing this to put out the Justice League movie, so they're cramming a bunch of people in Batman versus Superman?
This whole thing, to me, just like hearing this whole debacle of how they're treating Superman, Man of Steel, how they want to rush Barry Allen, how they're going to probably recast Green Lantern. It just shows me one thing. How much respect Marvel has for its characters. Because Marvel gave each of its characters in the Avengers, well, maybe not like Hawkeye and them, but they gave them their own movies, gave them their own backstories, gave them enough respect to show them their movies. If their movies are good or not, that's a whole different point. But, like, I believe Warner Brothers pretty much are assuming this. Anything Batman is now a reason to print money. So they want to put him on everything. And I hate that because I love Superman. And for him to get pretty much the sidekick role in his own movie is, I think, embarrassing and total disrespect to the character.
Well, the people who are in charge of the Marvel film franchise and stuff like that, I can't remember the guy's name right now, but there's one guy who's made a lot of the continuity calls. And he, like you said, I think he has, not only a higher respect for the characters, but I think also he has a bit of more respect for the fans because like Hawkeye and Black Widow, even though they didn't get their own movies, they were introduced in other movies first. You know, they had an intro, they had a reason to be there. They were already established, you know. But the biggest thing I think is I think DC is trying to play catch up. I think DC realized Marvel is way ahead of us, and so they're trying to force it, and they're not giving it the time that Marvel gave it.
How long do you think till Disney buys them too?
Well, Warner Brothers is one of the big six, so that's not going to happen. But
you were saying something like how people are kind of confused at why they cast Ben Affleck at Batman or I'm not even going to try to pronounce her name as Wonder Woman. But you think about in the first Christian Bale Batman movie they had Heath Ledger as the Joker, right? Isn't that right?
Yes.
All right.
Well, the second one.
The second one, my bad. But people were thinking
Blasphemy.
People were thinking Heath Ledger as the Joker, the guy from Brokeback Mountain.
No.
Really?
It was at the time everybody was making the joke because it was the guy from A Knight's Tale, and everybody had the clip of him from A Knight's Tale. You don't remember that? They did the
Nah.
same thing with Christian Bale though. When Christian Bale was first announced as Batman, everybody's like, "Well, the only thing we know him from is Newsies and American Psycho."
Oh man.
Those were
Hey,
his two big
sorry.
movies at the time. Was Newsies and American Psycho. Now, luckily, after the announcement was made, The Machinist came out before the actual Batman movie came out, and a lot of people were like, "Oh, this guy's really good." So,
You know what's
but
funny?
same thing with Heath Ledger.
You know what's funny about those movies? I hate Batman
You're gonna say
Begins.
later, weren't you?
Yeah, I almost said Heath Slater. Sorry.
I'm sorry, Chris. What were you saying?
No, I basically said it based how people were like, Heath Ledger, the guy from Brokeback Mountain's gonna play the Joker? Really? That's how people were sort of reacting.
Wait,
with
I'm
that.
confused. I agree with Chris, but did Infamous say that he hated the first Batman movie?
I hate that movie. Yes, I do.
What?
Batman Begins.
How?
What?
That movie is just so boring
Explain yourself.
to me. That
I
movie
hate
is so damn boring.
I don't hate it, but that's my least favorite of the three.
It is my least favorite of the three, but
Yeah.
I think that's a damn good movie.
Like,
And it's slow. The beginning,
it's very slow.
you could take off, honestly, a huge chunk of that movie, re-edit it just a little bit, show it to someone who's never seen the movie before, and they'd probably have no idea it was about Batman.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Honestly, I saw Batman Begins, and I'm watching this movie, and I'm just like, this shit is pretty damn boring. I don't like this movie. And then the very end, I believe at the end of the movie, Batman has a card, a Joker card.
Yes.
And that made me somewhat excited for the new one. But I was like, well, this one wasn't that good to me, so why would I want to see the new one? So when Heath Ledger was cast as Joker, it wasn't even a big deal to me because I wasn't really interested anyway. I didn't even think about it, whether he would be good or bad. And then he passed away. Rest in peace to Heath Ledger. So I watched the movie because there was a lot of hype around it. Everybody was saying he did such a great job. And as we know, when people pass away, they just make a big deal of his last role or whatever.
Right.
Yeah, they do that.
So I was just like,
That's
okay, it
funny.
might just be made a big deal out of. And I watched the movie, and I was like, this shit is fucking amazing. So,
That last act though bores me to death.
Two-Face?
Yeah, that whole thing. It doesn't bore me. That's a bad choice of words, but it's really long. It's like like after the whole scene where like the Joker falls to like his presumed death, I guess. After that movie just lags.
No, he doesn't fall to his death. Remember, he's on the rope. I mean, you see that he lives.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I don't remember.
Yeah, because originally, had he not died, they were going to have his trial as part of the third movie.
Yeah.
Oh,
But actually, I would like to point out that although you may not like the third act, from a film standpoint, that is how you do a comic book movie with multiple villains, and neither one of those villains feel stale.
Yeah.
It doesn't feel like you're
Agreed.
trying to cram too much in. They set up Two-Face. They put him on the back burner for a little bit, enough to make you, be really care and be really interested in what the Joker's doing. And then they brought him back at the right moment. Like, that was a really good example of how not to overdo your villains.
I really
Okay.
like how they had the whole thing that Joker set up where she was in one, what was it, a warehouse, and
He was in
Harvey
the other
Dent
one.
was in another one, and he kind of is somewhat responsible for him becoming Two-Face to a certain extent because he put him in that warehouse and then he sees him in the hospital. I thought that was a great way of tying it together.
Yeah.
And I really like him as a Two-Face. I thought he did a good job. I just felt like the movie overall, I don't think it was boring at any point. I think Heath Ledger did a great job as Joker, and I think he did, I forget his name, but he did a great job as Harvey Dent / Two-Face as well.
Aaron Eckhart.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I think we all agree that Two-Face would have been better if it would have been Billy D. Williams.
Right.
I would have totally gone to see that, but that's my favorite Batman movie is the Tim Burton 1989
The first or the second one?
the first one, the one with
Yes,
Jack
of course.
Nicholson as the Joker and
Yeah.
Billy D. Williams, and I don't actually remember the woman's name who played Vicky Vale.
Kim Basinger.
Kim Basinger, yeah.
Yeah,
I
that
love that
was
movie.
awesome.
That used to be my favorite until Dark Knight came out, And then because when Dark Knight came out, I was like, how can somebody do Joker better, like on screen, than Jack Nicholson?
Yeah.
And then I saw Heath Ledger's Joker, and I was like, you know what? I like this Joker better. So that's why Dark Knight is my favorite Batman.
Well, in all fairness, Jack Nicholson didn't play the Joker. He just played a little less sane Jack Nicholson.
I think what you mean to say there is, in all fairness, Jack Nicholson is not sane, so he was perfect for the Joker.
Okay, yes, I agree. They should probably make Mel Gibson.
He might have worked. You know, he was originally considered for Batman at one point.
Oh, that is awful.
Well,
I can't think of the guy's name. He's Richard Donner. He was the guy who did all the Lethal Weapon movies, right? And he was actually approached about doing a new Batman movie before they brought Tim Burton on. And he did an interview where he said the only person he had considered actually asking to be Batman when he was thinking up this movie that never happened was Mel Gibson.
Well, that's almost as bad as a Nick Cage Superman.
I mean, that almost happened too, though.
I remember those days when everybody was worried that Nick Cage was going to play Superman. Everybody was scared
I
for
was
their life.
rejoicing.
Are you serious?
No, I'm not serious.
Everybody was. It was like, you know, when the Mayans predicted in 2012 the world was going to be over. Everybody was so scared that Nick Cage was going to be Superman. And nobody, people were thinking.
I'd just like to remind everybody that this is the guy who named his kid Kal-El. He was destined to play Superman.
Oh wow!
Don't put him in anything involving Superman. Don't even put him on the Seinfeld episode where Seinfeld is talking about Superman. He should not be anywhere near.
You saw they're doing a documentary based off that Superman movie that never got made. The one where he was supposed to play Superman.
Yeah. Is that the one with the? I don't know if you guys saw this, but the one with the supposed to be a polar bear in the movie.
Yes. Yeah.
Kevin Smith was talking about
giant spider. Oh yeah, same one.
That was one. Yeah, that's if you haven't seen that movie, I mean not that movie, but that interview, I believe it's the audio on YouTube. Look it up. It's about Kevin Smith. I think they contacted him about writing or having something to do with the movie.
He was one of the original writers on it.
Yeah, and they contacted him about it, and he tells the whole story about it. If you look on YouTube, Kevin Smith Superman, I'm pretty sure it'll come up. It'll be the first things that come up probably. Look that up and laugh. I recommend it to everybody.
He has a podcast that he does called Fat Man on Batman, which is a good podcast. It's a good podcast, but occasionally he'll bring up stories about writing for that movie and, different things concerning that movie. But last week it was him and Paul Denny, because he has usually his guests he has for 2 weeks in a row. And last week him and Paul Denny were, they're making a new show based off Gotham, just called Gotham.
That's all.
And they were talking about what they would do, which was their version of the show, but it was just young Batman. I think they called it like Shadow of the Bat. But it got really weird into this kind of like fanboy eroticism. You'll just have to listen to it. It got really weird.
I feel like kind of little off topic, kind of little going back to some. I feel like Nick Cage would play a perfect Joker. He'd just be himself.
Nick Cage is not a perfect anything to me. Like, he's not.
He was good in Raising Arizona. That was it.
That's about it.
He's not even a perfect Nick Cage. I can't even see him playing himself in the movie.
There's somebody out there that does a better Nick Cage than Nick Cage.
He can't play himself in the movie. He'll screw it up somehow. Nick Cage played Ghost Rider. That's all you have to say about Nick Cage.
I still haven't watched that second one. The first one was so bad I have not managed to watch the second one.
I refuse to.
That first movie was so bad.
Nick Cage.
My mom to this day still thinks Nick Cage is a great actor. Every time she says that, I want to punch her in the face.
A friend of mine and I
don't know anything.
A friend of mine and I have an ongoing argument over which is worse, Ghost Rider or Elektra, and I usually say that Elektra is worse, but he's almost convinced me.
I would prefer Elektra.
Really?
Over Ghost Rider. What do you say?
At least you get to see her in her outfit.
I guess.
You know what? I'm one of the few people who don't think Elektra is one of the worst movies ever. Don't get me wrong.
You're killing me, Smalls.
Yes. It's not one of the best superhero movies ever, but it's not. I think it's far from the worst.
It's not Catwoman.
It's not Catwoman. It's not Catwoman. It's not Punisher, Dead Zone, or whatever it was called.
It's not Bound to by
Warzone.
Kanye
Punisher
West.
Warzone. It's not fucking Supergirl.
Yeah.
It's not well, I had it in my head.
Spider-Man 3.
Spider-Man 3 is pretty bad.
Spider-Man 3
Fantastic
is bad.
Four 2. Fantastic Four 2 was definitely.
That's the
Rise
Silver
of the
Surfer.
Silver Surfer.
That's like an hour and 45 minutes I'll never get back in my life, and I still regret that.
The Fantastic Four movies, I rooted for them so much, and it was
Same
just
here.
like everything that involved the Fantastic Four movies were bad. The video games, the movies. I didn't even like the
I'll s-
cartoon they had.
I'll say this: Chickless as the Thing was the best part of those movies because
Yeah.
he did probably the
Let's
best
rock.
that anything. Okay, well he had some bad one-liners, but that's the writer's fault. But he did a great version of the Thing.
I like him because apparently the director wanted him to become in CG, but he pushed to have it like a practical effect.
Yeah,
I love
that's
that.
cool.
I thought
That's
that was amazing.
I don't know. Fantastic Four movies are just big disappointments for me. It's just it makes me sad. It makes me cry at a certain point. But okay.
But you liked Elektra, so I don't know if I can trust your judgment.
I think Elektra was okay. I think the Daredevil movie also gets more hate than it deserved. Don't get me wrong, Daredevil is not very good.
I think Daredevil was better than Elektra, and
Daredevil was better.
I loved Michael Clark Duncan as the Kingpin, and Colin Farrell did a great Bullseye in my opinion. He was a little too crazy, I think, because Bullseye's maniacal, but he's not nuts,
Yeah.
But that was fun. That was a fun movie.
I just think those two movies are not the worst superhero movies ever. They're somewhat decent, at least.
Okay, now I've only watched the new Green Lantern one once. So
I don't like that.
I might be able to argue that it's worse than Elektra, but that'd be a tough argument.
I don't like Green. Like I have Elektra on DVD, believe it or not.
Wait, I'm sorry.
Wait,
so you're the
never
one
mind. No,
person
never mind.
in the United States that owns Elektra on DVD.
No, I missaid that. No, I do not have it. No, I don't
What's
care.
that ominous
Okay, I
glow
had
in the
Elektra.
distance?
Yes, I got Elektra on DVD. I have it right now.
Oh
At the
god.
same time, everybody's going to be upset. I have Catwoman with Halle Berry on DVD as well. I'm sorry.
Wow, infamous. Come on, brother.
I think
sorry.
all of
DVD
Chicago is going to
collection
come in a
is
riot.
hilarious.
Sorry. I don't like Catwoman, but I don't remember why I have it on DVD. I don't remember. I tried to block it out of my mind.
Look, Halle Berry is great, man, but
Out of there, she
no
Yeah,
one
Halle
could
Berry.
save that movie.
I like Halle Berry, and I don't even think that
Maybe Eartha Kitt.
I think she could have been a good Catwoman, maybe. But the movie is just like it's just bad. It's not Halle Berry, I don't think. It's just
No, I don't think that was her fault. I don't blame the failure of that movie on her. One, the story was not great. Two, I just don't know what they were doing with the script. Like, there were so many ways to do Catwoman, and they were just like, let's just not do anything that we know works. Let's go with something else.
I think the one actress, if you can call her an actress, that could save the Catwoman movie is Mae Young. I think she played an interesting role.
saggy titties. Don't remind me of that. Don't remind
The puppies.
With the giant hand to make an appearance.
It hurts me because I have that pay-per-view where she strips, but not Mae Young. Yeah, Mae Young.
Yeah.
She strips at Royal Rumble, I believe.
Yeah.
I'm
And
telling
the
you,
King-
man, your
King
collection of movies is probably about the funniest thing I've ever seen.
I have one of the worst DVD collections ever. Like I have that Royal
We had
Rumble where
actually
she gets naked, Catwoman, Elektra. I have the very first, like the '80s Punisher.
Okay, well that one, I have that one. That
That's a
one's
Dolph
fun.
Lundgren. one,
Dolph
right?
Lundgren.
Yeah,
man.
but yeah. I don't think
Actually
it's that bad.
owned-
It's better than the other one. What was it, Warzone? I think it's better than that one.
Okay,
I
Warzone
hate
wasn't great, but here's my thing. I own all the Punisher movies because he's one of my favorite Marvel comic characters. It's just always been a favorite of mine. The one that I think gets too much heat that really shouldn't is the one with the one right before Warzone. I can't think of the guy's name.
Thomas Jane.
Yes, Thomas Jane. Why can I think of that? Anyway, the only thing that's bad about that one is the giant exploding set of cars that make the fiery skull at the end. Had they cut that one part out, I think that movie would have been so much better.
Yeah.
I don't remember that part. I remember that movie being okay, but it could have been better.
It could have been a lot better.
What
That's the
Punisher
only
movie
other
is the one with Kevin Nash?
That's the Thomas Jane
yeah,
one because he
same.
plays the Russian who was from the comics. He's awesome.
Yeah, it's the same movie.
Yep.
Okay. So I guess we should go into. This is 45 minutes so far.
Yep.
Yeah, I just
Well,
saw that.
excluding that minute at the beginning, but anyway.
Yeah.
You're gonna have to do some editing.
We could make this whole thing into 2 episodes probably.
You probably could
Probably.
find a
So,
good stopping point and just
yeah.
cut it. Yeah.
That way we could just I should make an outro instead.
I'm good with that.
And
I
keep
think
going.
I think we should probably just move on to questions.
Yeah, we haven't even touched questions yet.
Oh, okay. Let me go to questions. We'll go to those other subjects later.
All
All right.
Wait, I have a question that I saw on your YouTube channel that it's just been sticking with me the entire day that I have to ask it. Don't remember who asked it, but it's in all caps. Why you call yourself infamous?
There's an
he
easy
said it-
answer there, and it just ends with bitch.
He says it the exact way the person typed it. That's what's funny
Yeah,
about it.
that's perfect.
Hey,
I named-
I got a quick thing real quick, if you don't mind.
What's up?
I was just going to ask what y'all's opinions are on DLC.
Oh,
Like, do y'all buy a lot of DLC? Do you think it's worthless? Do you think they charge too much? Because it's been kind of a big topic lately.
Yeah, the last DLC I bought, like, I'm not going to count the Beach Bum pack for GTA 5 because that was free.
That was
The
free.
last one I bought was for Halo Reach. I bought all of that. Well, my brother actually has bought all of the Call of Duty map packs, and I have a special hate for Call of Duty. But that last one I bought was probably early 2012, the last Halo Reach one.
Do
So-
you, Ulysses or Infamous, do y'all have any comments on that?
I'm okay with DLC as long as it isn't like Capcom where the game is like the DLC is already in the disc. They just like block it off, and you have to
Yeah. So,
you have to pay again. Like that, I'm against. That's why I'm like, I kind of refuse to buy a Capcom game now which
I
sucks.
buy them all used. Yeah.
Yeah, just to stick it to them.
Boycott.
Yeah, because I don't know that I think that's bullshit. Like I think what was it with Street Fighter Cross Tekken where with the DLC they had it there they had like 12 exclusive characters I believe
Yep.
for PlayStation or Vita, but on the Xbox 360 they're in the disc. You just had to pay for like the DLC I believe.
Yeah.
Yep.
That
That's
is
because that
crap.
deal that they worked out with PlayStation. Yeah, and I don't disagree with you. I think I love some Capcom games, but they're another company that they're shitty.
Yeah.
The reason I asked this is I recently, not long ago, I got finished playing Saints Row 4, and I enjoyed Saints Row 4, but Saints Row is one of those game series that they release a lot of DLC. So I waited. I didn't buy the season pass because I wasn't sure about any of the DLC coming out. And I went on Steam and I'm looking, and I just cannot. Some of this DLC, I'm like, I can't justify spending the money that they want for that DLC.
Yeah, like for me, the DLC is worth it. Is like unless you, if you really like the game, I think you'll probably find a way. Like me personally, I love Borderlands 2. I bought every piece of DLC except for the costumes just because I truly enjoyed the characters, the gameplay, and I wanted to get more of it. Like if you're telling me I can get more, I'll throw them $5 here and get 2-3 hours extra of gameplay. I'm alright with that.
Yeah.
Well, I don't mind DLC if it adds to the game. Like I'm not talking about like extra weapons or extra like clothing or a new outfit. Like if it's extra storyline, okay. Like the last DLC I bought, I think it was Walking Dead 400 Days, and that adds
That's a good
something
one.
that leads from Walking Dead season 1 to season 2. I
Yeah, it's
really
a
enjoyed it.
transition, yeah.
It's like
Yeah.
1.5.
Yeah, and I really enjoyed it. But I'm not gonna buy like DLC for like costumes and shit. I don't like that. That's what I feel like. Okay, you're just trying to get more money now. Like, okay, if you're gonna add something to it that makes me pop this game in again and play it again, okay, I will buy your DLC. But not if just like, okay, here, ladies and gentlemen, here's a rocket launcher for fucking
For a dollar.
yeah, for fucking WWE 13 or something. Then I'm not gonna buy it. Okay, why the hell do I want a rocket launcher in a video game, in a wrestling video game?
I got to agree with you on that because, like we were talking about with Capcom, man, I play a ton of Street Fighter 4.
Hello?
And the costumes.
Oh, there we go. Sorry to interrupt you. It cut out for a second for me.
Oh, it's all right. The costumes on Street Fighter 4 though cost so much, and they come grouped. So if you have a favorite character, you know, depending on who it comes grouped with, you might be like, well, I'll use this guy's costumes, but I'll never use these other two because I don't play as those characters, and you have to buy them like that.
For Marvel vs. Capcom 3.
Yeah.
So, like you guys voice, like if you want me to, I've got the questions loaded up right here on my phone if you want me to ask some.
From YouTube?
Yeah, from the YouTube comments.
Okay, you can go. Well, the person who said, why do I name myself Infamous? It was a high school teacher, believe it or not, called me Infamous.
All right.
That makes no sense, but okay.
That question was from Nerdy Rajgay. Well, I don't know how to pronounce that.
What's up?
What up?
The first one is Trey Ingram. When will we ever see your face?
Never.
I'm sorry, but that question is creepy.
That is very creepy.
That is very creepy.
Can't he see your profile picture? It's in there.
I've posted my face.
Yeah.
On Twitter.
You're just looking away from the camera. That's all you need to see.
You can see a bit of eyebrow, bit of eye, nose, and mouth.
Listen, people.
See,
this is gonna be
that slick shirt.
This is gonna be a big shout out to Steve because he loves saying this. Just go to Google, search James Harden. There, you found Infamous.
He likes to say that I look exactly like James Harden. So,
search.
According to him, I look like James Harden, the NBA player.
I love that. Joke.
My friend thinks you look like Cat Williams.
See, that is. I'm not even as light skinned as Cat Williams. I'm way darker than Cat Williams.
I don't get that. Okay.
I feel like you feel disrespected about that one.
I'm mad right now.
No, I'm sorry. He said you sound like Cat Williams.
I've heard that.
Okay. All right. I can agree with that. That's fine.
I've heard I sound like Cat Williams, Snoop Dogg, Wiz Khalifa. I've heard I sound like who else?
My brother might have the
7th
biggest
Street.
disrespect about your voice.
He what?
My brother might have the most thing that you might get mad at.
What did he say?
My brother thought you sound exactly like Chris Tucker.
I've heard that too multiple times.
Have you?
You know, the
I
funny
take
thing,
Cat Williams over Chris Tucker.
Chris Tucker doesn't even sound like Snoop Dogg. Snoop Dogg doesn't sound like Cat Williams. So
Cat Williams doesn't sound like Wiz Khalifa.
Nobody sounds like anybody. So I don't understand. Let's go on to the next question.
All right. Well, Prince Brown Moore, he asked, this is a question for your channel. Can you make more NBA 2K14 My Career and GTA 5 online videos?
I will. Okay.
When are the Jesus powers going to come back together? That's my question.
Yeah.
We have to do a new one.
By the way, your last video of Mario vs. Luigi, I forgot to comment on that, but that was some pretty dope shit.
Yeah, it was really good.
My very first time playing that game.
I love your Fight Night champion.
Celebrity boxing.
Yeah.
Oh, I love that.
Well, anyway, this next question, we've probably already answered this, is which movie do you hate the most?
Oh, well, we talked about the superhero movies. All right, what's your guy? What do you hate the most?
I got to think of this one.
Mine's kind of pretty obscure, but the only movie I've ever walked out of a theater is I actually saw it with my younger brother because he had some friends that wanted to go see it and that were a little younger than him. It was a Diary of the Wimpy Kid 2, Roderick Rules. Worst movie I've ever seen. I saw about half of it, and I hate myself for actually seeing that half.
I don't know if anybody's even going to know this movie, but Christian Slater was in a remake of this film called Very Bad Things, about them going to Las Vegas and accidentally killing a hooker.
No.
It's horrible. I will never sit through that again. One that you might know is I've never owned it, and I refuse to watch it.
That is a shot at me. I feel like that's a shot.
No. I'm just saying. I love the first Mortal Kombat movie. I think
I
that's
love
like
it.
my favorite movie of all time as far as just I want a bullshit thing that I can put on in the background and have something fun to watch while I work, right?
I love
But
it.
the second Mortal Kombat movie is the worst piece of garbage
It's crap.
ever.
All right.
I have that both of those movies on DVD.
I will support you owning that first one.
For me, the movie I hate the most is I have two. Pretty much anything directed by Uwe Boll is crap.
Oh my lord.
But for me, I'm a huge Spider-Man fan. Like as of now, I have 4 posters of him on my wall, and I have 6 shirts that have Spider-Man on it.
All right.
I hate Spider-Man 3 with a passion.
Yeah,
I
as you should.
absolutely hate it.
Everybody does.
Did you
I
like
do
the
too.
new one though? Did you like Amazing Spider-Man?
I liked it. I preferred it because I actually do like the female character, Gwen Stacy. I thought she
yeah.
was a pretty strong character. I thought she's better than fucking Kristen Dunst. I hate Kristen Dunst. I want that on record.
It's Emma Stone is
Emma
who?
Stone, yeah.
Yeah, and
I don't
she's
find
great.
I don't find her all too attractive or anything, but I do think
What?
well she's not my taste, but I do think she plays a great Gwen Stacy. I'm gonna probably cry the day when she's gonna die because if they
It's
go
gotta
with the
happen.
comics, it's gotta happen.
Gotta
I
happen.
think it's going to happen. It's certainly going to happen.
Maybe
They're
not
gonna
the
follow
second
that.
one,
But
Yeah.
I
definitely.
really enjoyed this first one. I'm terrified of the second one because
That's-
I'm getting flashbacks. I'm getting flashbacks of Spider-Man 3, and I'm kind of getting an anxiety attack thinking they're gonna shove way too much in my face, and I'm just not gonna like it. To quote Stephen Wild, it's gonna get my money, but I don't know if I'm gonna like it.
What do you think about how Rhino looks? That's my question.
We need to talk about
hate
this.
I hate it. It's like the design of that looks good if
It
you're
looks like a
making.
mech.
Yeah,
Look,
does.
it looks good if it's like coming out for like Transformers Beast or whatever that was. But this is Spider-Man, damn it. I was kind of ashamed because the way they made this part of Spider-Man look like all of them were going to be the genetic. Like everything was
Yeah.
a problem. And when I saw that it turned into a mech, I was very disappointed because I don't know if any of you played the movie tie-in game that came in with it.
No, I want to.
I enjoyed it enough. It's not quite Spider-Man 2, but it was okay. And I
That
actually
was a great game. That was an
Yeah,
amazing game.
You know,
very great game.
well, Spider-Man 2, yeah, it was a very good game. But one thing I think about Amazing Spider-Man 2 is the same thing I think about Superman versus Batman. That's that the movie's going to be cluttered. Like, they have Rhino. It looked like Green Goblin in the trailer that they had.
Goblin,
Yeah, but is
Rhino,
Harry
Electro.
Osborn as Green Goblin as well?
Yeah.
I don't even know. Electro. I'm stuck on Jennifer Garner for some reason.
If Elektra shows up, I'm done. I'll walk out of the theater right there.
I might have to
Electro.
join you.
Electro. Green Goblin, and who else? Rhino is in it.
Rhino.
And then
don't get me wrong,
they show Vulture's wings.
Right.
Yeah, they show Dr. Octopus.
because the fourth one looks like it looks like it's leading up to the fourth one being the Sinister Six,
which I'm all for.
that'll be cool. But the thing about it to me is that trailer, as neat as it looked in some parts, I didn't have the complaints that some people had about the CGI. I didn't have the complaints that some people had about the suit for Rhino. My biggest thing was that the best part of the trailer was all the little Easter eggs about Raven Loft and
Yeah.
with the Venom stuff, and it referenced a bunch of stuff, like some Weapon X stuff on the keyboard and the Sinister Six stuff. And I was like, when the Easter eggs in your trailer are better than your actual trailer, that doesn't make me hyped up for your movie.
I just think it's going to be too much. That's all I think.
I really miss William Dafoe.
You may be the
Just
only
period.
person that ever says that, but I will support your right to say that.
You just miss him, period, because he hasn't been in the movie in a while. You just miss him, like, altogether.
He's in Beyond Two Souls. Go play the game. You'll be good.
That's not a movie though.
It's like
You
it.
cannot replace William Dafoe with a CGI character.
Well, anyway, the next question. Well, it's just this guy named Joe Egui. I don't know. He says, "Keep up the great comedy." Really?
Yeah.
Another question about your face.
You missed the
Every
question.
question's about my face.
Yeah, I know. I'm
Okay.
gonna come back to it.
All right.
I'm going through the ones that we're probably not gonna answer. Are you going to do face cams? I am swaggy 100ify. Uh,
100 to
Keep
5.
it
All
going.
right.
uh, sort of answered this next one by Sonny Jackson. What games have you wanted to play but haven't yet for whatever reason?
Um,
You know what I just got this week? Came in the mail. The new Twisted Metal game. I say new. It's not new. It's the newest one. I heard it was horrible, but I'm gonna play it.
I want to play it as well.
Yeah,
You know,
for me it's Assassin's Creed, Black Flag, and Last of Us.
And
For
I'm
me, it's
finishing
easy.
Dishonored. Have all y'all played Dishonored?
I
I
heard
heard
too
it was
much bad
bad.
stuff. I
Yeah.
heard way too much bad stuff.
It's fun. It's got good parts. It reminds me a lot of the first Assassin's Creed. Once I did like the first couple of missions, all the other missions feel just really repetitive. And honestly, the only power you need in this entire game, they give you this whole list of powers, is the one that allows you to blink. Basically, that's it.
For me,
Well,
it's anything from the Bioshock universe. I have not played not one of them. I haven't played 1, 2, or
What?
Infinite.
All right,
And like,
you play 1, you skip 2 because you don't need it, and you play Infinite.
this is the problem though. No one has sold me on it. Like my friends love it, but I tell them what is it about, and they just keep talking, and nothing catches my eye or ear.
I'm not gonna claim that I can sell you on it, but seriously, you can pick up the first one for dirt cheap. Go get
So
it.
I've heard. Okay,
yeah.
I'll take your word on that.
I can't. No More Heroes 2. I like the
Oh,
first
yeah.
one. I never played No More Heroes 2. I would like to play that one.
I never finished the first one. I need to go back and finish it.
I haven't either, but I liked it.
That man, Suda, whatever his name is, that man's crazy, but his games are awesome.
Yeah.
Right. Well, ATL, probably from Atlanta, 715 says, favorite video game as a kid?
No Mercy. WWF No Mercy.
Link to the Past.
If it isn't WWF No Mercy, it's Donkey Kong Country for the Super Nintendo.
Or, I'm sorry, the DuckTales game for NES was awesome.
Oh, that was...
I recently I played the remaster of that, and I loved it.
The Bonkers game for Super Nintendo used to be one of my favorites too.
Yeah.
I remember that game.
My childhood wasn't as long ago. Like, I grew up with the PS2 and GameCube, but my favorite video game as a child had to be Mario Kart Double Dash. That was an awesome game. I loved that. Or
I love the age gap here.
yeah, I'm just gonna keep that a little.
That's fine. That's fine. That tells me all I need
Just
to know
say
right there.
just say Mario Kart and let people think about
That's
what
right.
Mario
Yeah.
Kart you're talking about.
Yeah, but yeah, Mario Kart. Let's just go with that.
Okay. What's the next question?
Holy cow. Dark Side Man X. He has 10 questions.
All right, just like ask 3 or something.
I'm
The 3
gonna
best.
I'm gonna look random one. Okay, here we go. Question 7: cats or dogs?
Dogs.
I'm
Dogs.
allergic to cats.
Yeah, dogs. Oh, sorry, cat, sitting right in front of me. Favorite wrestler? Question number 6 from him.
Of all time or current?
I guess just of all time.
Undertaker.
The same here.
The Rock or Mankind. Or Mick Foley.
Either Austin or Shawn Michaels. For all time.
Yeah. And last on YouTube, as I can see, from KC Chiefs Adams, repping the Kansas City Chiefs there. I like him. What are your favorite genre of choice, as in a game genre, like RPG, sports, simulator, action adventure, ETCA?
Sandbox for me. I love a really well done sandbox game. I like the freedom. So
The sandbox style is starting. I'm really starting to like it. If they continue the way of like GTA 5, I'll really enjoy it.
Or Minecraft?
But I've never played Minecraft. But it's fine. I just played vicariously through your video, so I'm all right with that.
I need to watch your Minecraft videos.
Do you not like Legos as a kid? That is basically Legos, the video game.
That is exactly correct.
Wow,
that is how I
great way to
explained
explain it.
Minecraft to my brother.
Oh wow, it's not like those Lego Batman games.
I've never played
Those are
those.
fun too. Those were way more
Well,
fun than I ever thought they were going to be.
well, for me, it's easy. It's either sports games because I love playing Madden, I like playing
Same here.
2K, or an action adventure game. Like, what does like the Legend of Zelda games considered?
It's
You like
adventure.
action, adventure?
Than those.
Adventure, sort of.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'd go with action adventure as well.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with same as Ulysses, sports and action adventure. Well, that's all I have from the YouTubes.
Okay, well, I had some from Twitter. If you could pick one movie you would like to see a remake of, what would it be?
Wicker Man.
Wait. Okay. You know, the one with Nicolas Cage was a remake.
I want another one
Okay.
Ah.
All right.
with Nicolas Cage
a
as
remake,
every role.
a remake of a remake with the same person who was in the original remake.
Yes.
Are you guys familiar with the movie The Warriors from this late?
That's one of my favorite movies of all
Out.
time.
I'm actually not usually a fan of people remaking movies, but I actually think what they should do is do a remake of that movie, but they should keep it low budget. Like that movie should have almost no special effects, no big budget whatsoever. But I would love to see an updated version of that.
You want the Warriors to be a snuff film, basically.
Wow.
Manhunt
Wow.
2.
Also, did you ever play that game?
The
Warriors
game is
that
great
Rockstar did?
by Rockstar,
That-
yes.
Dude, again, a game I thought was going to be trash. I was like, man, they're just cashing in. And I love Rockstar. I think Rockstar's amazing, but I love that game.
That game is one of my favorites from the PlayStation 2 Xbox era. I bought it again on PS3. That's a great game.
Yeah, I haven't done that, but I still own my Xbox copy of the game somewhere.
I believe it's only one question left, actually. Do you think the Call of Duty games are getting old and should be changed from a once-a-year release to maybe 2 years between games?
All right, since you know I have a special hate for it, end them now. They're all awful past Modern Warfare 2, with the exception of Black Ops.
That's not
All
gonna
of them. Awful.
I'll agree
yes.
with you. Black Ops, I think, was the last good one.
Yeah.
I like Black Ops 2.
I haven't played 2 yet. Is Black Ops 2 worth picking up?
Nope.
I thought it was cool. I liked it. Because... Go ahead.
I played up until about level, I don't know, 16 on online, then put it down just because they're so not very interesting.
Yeah, I don't like. I'm not the biggest fan. Like when I did have a 360, I did enjoy play Halo a lot more than Call of Duty. But yeah, go ahead. They could go once every 10 years for all I care.
I think I'm the only guy that probably, when I get a Call of Duty game, I play through the story first and then go play online. But I loved Black Ops' story, and then I didn't get 3 because I just didn't have the money at the time. And a friend was like, well, here, you can borrow my copy. And that story, 1, was over so quick, and 2, I felt like it did nothing. It was almost like they had given up on the single player, just stick to the formula, and, oh, well, we'll just bank off our multiplayer. Well, I'm sorry, but for me, after a while, the multiplayer gets really old. But I'm not a huge multiplayer person.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so is there anything anybody wants to say about any of the topics we've discussed today before we end it?
Are y'all watching Raw?
I'm
I might. No, I
watched
don't.
I'm wondering
enough of
if I saw the Slammy
Oh.
episode.
I saw a
it was
little bit
off.
of it.
It was whatever. I like the ending. I thought the ending
was
pretty fun.
awesome. That was what I was
Yeah.
going to point out. The rest of the episode. I
What
mean, it was
happened at
okay.
the end?
Oh, wait. Let me. Raw cap. All right. Now.
Fine, do a raw cap. Yeah, let's go.
Like I don't know. I thought the ending was funny. Like I actually enjoyed when John Cena interviewed Daniel Bryan. That was funny.
Yeah. Now he did that to play to the crowd. Okay, so
Yeah.
to back up for those who didn't see it, it was the Slammy Awards episode, and more or less, you don't need to know what happened the first 2 hours because the only thing that was kind of interesting was them teasing the Shield breaking up and all that.
Oh yeah, the
But-
double cross.
Yeah, but the part that really got me and that really interested me was at the end. They get everybody in the ring and they're doing what they're calling the ascension ceremony. So they're taking both belts, they're putting them together, and they're lifting them above the ring, and that's where they're going to stay until Sunday, whatever. So they have like Bret Hart and all the legends that were in the building and a bunch of
Oh,
other people, all in the ring. And they do the thing with John Cena and Randy Orton where they face off and then they start fighting. Well, they split them up. And basically what it looked like was it looked like the faces all took Randy Orton and the heels all took Cena, which I don't
yeah.
know why that happened. But I'm sorry, most of the legends were with Cena and then like some of the heels were with Cena. And then all the faces had Randy Orton over there. And of course he hits CM Punk. Well, when he hits CM Punk, CM Punk's like, screw that, hits him back. And then Triple H comes over and gets involved and throws CM Punk out of the way. So CM Punk hits Triple H. And this leads to this almost comedy of errors back and forth until finally Randy Orton accidentally clotheslines Stephanie McMahon. It was fun. It was a giant fracas. That's what it was. And it was good television for the last like 10 to 15 minutes of Raw.
Yeah, that was pretty good.
Yeah, but go ahead.
I didn't watch Raw. I heard about the Slammies though, but I'm
sorry. Go ahead. Sorry. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Well, I didn't watch it, so my opinion doesn't even matter anyway, really. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. Like, I know the Slammies don't mean crap, but
they do to me.
I hated the idea that
it's real to me, damn it.
I just hated the fact that I believe Punk and it was Cena versus Punk from like February.
Still make me laugh. I'm sorry.
What?
Still make me laugh. I'm sorry.
Like, I hated the fact that Cena and Punk from early February and Cena and Bryan from SummerSlam didn't get any love. I thought those matches were highly entertaining.
Yeah, the two big categories that everybody was like, did they actually use the real numbers? Or okay, in the past, WWE has done polls, and they've not been like too dodgy about saying, hey, sometimes we change stuff for storyline purposes, right? So the two that people have gotten really kind of what the hell about was the choice of Diva of the year, which was the Bellas.
Crap.
And my thing is, I think they're doing that because they're probably going to use that for Total Divas or for an actual plot line later.
Or it might have been something that happened in Total Divas that nobody saw because nobody watches that show.
Right. I've seen one episode. I saw one episode. You don't need to watch it. Don't worry.
I bet Infamous owns the first season.
I do. I own that and Simple Life by Paris Hilton and Nicole Richie.
But the other one that people got kind of upset about was Match of the Year, and my thing was like, come on, WWE is going to pick what they want to be Match of the Year. I was shocked they actually let Daniel Bryan have Superstar of the Year, but it was probably because he got so many damn votes that they were like, well, crap. I mean, the whole last segment, since you didn't see it, Infamous, while Triple H is trying to speak, the crowd is just doing yes chants and Daniel Bryan chants, and I mean that guy can't get any more over.
And that guy just has like the most hilarious face, like he's just looking around like, yeah, that's me.
Yeah, like people were so upset that he didn't get the title, and I didn't care. I was like, this guy doesn't need the title. He has the most fan support without wearing a belt. He is the guy you want to be the underdog chasing the belt. If I could somehow tell WWE to do like a tournament or something that would take a while to let him work up to the belt, I would make it take him a year to get his next title, and the fans would be totally behind him every step of the way.
Yeah. One other thing that I didn't like the choice on, I guess it was fan base though, was the double cross of the year. Didn't Shawn Michaels win that or whatever?
Yeah.
I thought Mark Henry should have.
I thought the reason that most people voted for that is because they want to see a match between Shawn Michaels and Daniel Bryan.
Yeah,
that would be entertaining.
But
Mark Henry,
that just came out of nowhere.
That was awesome.
I don't think they would have given him just because now that he turned face.
Yeah, he is face right now,
and he looks like Rick Ross.
Oh, was anybody else disappointed when Shawn Michaels and Daniel Bryan were actually like face to face, and that maybe they're waiting to do something? Or my other thought is maybe they know Shawn Michaels is never going to agree to do the match, so maybe they don't want to build it up too much. I don't know what they're doing with that.
I'm not going to lie. I love that segment just because the little facial features that Shawn Michaels did, and like
Yeah.
he's just looking around like, okay, this is awkward. I
He's
love
a
Shawn
great
Michaels.
heel. He's a
Yeah.
great heel. He should have been heel more often in his career.
Yeah, I don't disagree with you on that one.
I think Hornswoggle should have won Match of the Year. I mean, Superstar of the Year.
Yeah,
Him or
that's how
Collie.
I am.
Oh, if you say colleague, really. I write for a wrestling website. I do like a weekly article, and I wrote an entire article about why I hated the Great Khali. But let me ask you guys real quick, since we answered who our like favorite wrestlers were earlier, who's like the guy in the company right now that actually has a chance that if they could have a great 2014 and be elevated, who would you want to see that happen to?
Dolph Ziggler.
I agree, 100%.
I haven't been watching lately, but like if anybody, ooh man, that's a tough choice. Infamous, you want to weigh in while I think?
I haven't watched wrestling in a very long time. I'm gonna say the black guy with the big titties, Langston.
He's awesome.
I don't know why. I'm just gonna say him because that's when I turn around, I see him, and I just say him for no reason.
He's awesome.
NXT, that guy is entertaining.
Who is that?
Biggie Langston. He is.
Oh yeah. If you ever want to watch some good wrestling, go watch their NXT program. They have some amazing wrestlers down there, like Sami Zayn and Adrian Neville, and guys that I have no clue why they're not on the roster right now, because they're ready and they're great.
Can they talk on the mic?
The two I mentioned can. Like, that's why. Okay, Bo Dallas. I don't know if you know who Bo Dallas is. He's their current NXT champion.
Face, right? That's Bray Wyatt's brother, I believe.
Yes, it is Bray Wyatt's brother. They're both.
Didn't he go? Wasn't he in the Rumble in 2000?
He won the Rumble. Yeah. Oh, well, he didn't win. I'm sorry. He won the right to be in the Rumble, and then he eliminated Wade Barrett, and there was this whole interaction between him and Wade Barrett. But then the creative cut it short. It was going to be awesome because the original plan was for him to actually fight Wade Barrett for the title. And I think he was supposed to lose, but that got scrapped and everything. But his biggest problem to me is he's amazing in the ring. His mic skills need some serious work. But he's doing this heel gimmick, which I love, where he is like this motivational speaker almost, but he's in denial, thinking all his fans love him. It's a good gimmick, and it's just he needs better mic skills.
So he's Heath Slater.
Kind of. That was the person I was going to say. I know nobody's going to agree with me on this, but the two people I would love to actually see elevated is I'm still rooting for Zack Ryder because he's a good worker. I think he needs to drop his current gimmick. I think he needs a brand new gimmick, and I think he could be great. The other person that I'm rooting for, and again, no one's going to agree with me, but that's okay, is Drew McIntyre because he's an amazing wrestler.
Yeah, I liked him as a heel when he first came in.
Oh, he was great. I really don't know why that didn't work. Huh?
When he first came in, he was a heel against Matt Hardy, wasn't he?
Yeah. He had some good matches with him. He had some good matches. Well, I didn't like the whole thing they did with him and Teddy Long, but he had some good matches in that period. He's just a really good wrestler, and not that I hate 3MB. I think 3MB is a decent gimmick for what they're trying to do. But you've got him and Jinder Mahal, who are both great wrestlers, and I'm not going to say that Heath Slater's not good. He's just the other two are better.
Yeah.
But
I really can't.
Like I think the last Raw I ever watched was the one when Mark Henry was retiring in quotes.
In that ugly ass jacket.
Oh, I love the jacket.
That jacket was amazing.
It's like Shaq in the All-Star game with his cactus jacket.
Who's the guy from TNT that does the halftime? Him.
Craig Sager.
I love those suits, damn it. The hell was that?
All right, so I guess this will be the it.
Wow,
the it.
Hour and 20 minutes almost.
Yeah, this is the it for episode 1, Dead Air.
Let's mention our Twitter names and stuff, just so people can maybe follow us and talk to us and stuff. Send us some questions instead of just you.
All right, so name your Twitter names. Stephen Wilds, what is yours?
It's just my name, Stephen, StephenWilds. And I write for like every website on the planet, and I have a YouTube channel.
WrestlingNewsInc.com, is that right? Is that one of them?
No, it's Blankman Inc.
Blankman
and then
Inc.
Wrestling News
Arena.
No, that's the old one. Source. Arena went out of business. I've written for everybody now. No, but I also have a YouTube channel I just started up at YouTube.com/Serenity's Bane, which is me dying a lot. It's me dying a lot. So
It's a gaming channel.
yeah. I started with like some Resident Evil walkthroughs, and then I just started playing the Angry Video Game Nerd game, Angry Video Game Nerd Adventures. I don't know if y'all have played that.
Is
Not
it
yet.
fun? I really wanted to play that.
It's old school. It's tough as fuck. Can we say fuck on here? I don't know.
You can say anything you want.
All right.
Really.
It's tough as fuck.
Infamous was saying titties all day. So
Yeah, pretty much.
If
I've
you
seen
go watch my
everything.
video, you'll see me dying and yelling at the screen a lot. So
sounds entertaining.
Yeah, my Twitter handle is at HeelSeekOff. I don't have a YouTube account. I just don't have any recording equipment. But yeah, just at HeelSeekOff. Same thing for Instagram and even Ask.fm.
Now spell that for everybody.
HeelCkauff.
Okay. Ulysses.
At WeCho. That's at WII_CHO_.
All right. Well, that was the first episode of the Dead Air podcast. Hope you guys enjoyed it.
Yeah, it was
I
real
had
fun.
as well.
it was awesome.
We'll be doing episode 2 at some point. Hope you guys liked it. Well, I don't know if this is going to be episode 2 or 1. I don't know.
It's going to be like a weekly thing or?
I don't know. We'll see what happens. I don't know.
Yeah, it'll come out. It's like SLQA.
Yeah.
It'll come out when it comes out.
This is the Dead Air podcast, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you enjoyed it. Bye, everybody. Peace.
Peace.
You ain't going to see his face. And that's how it ends.